Today is going to be a great day.
This is your day for something new. This is your day to make it through. This is your day, so come along and see what you can do. You can have it, you can do it, you can make it, nothing to it. Successful living is yours. Learn to be successful. Learn to be successful. Learn to be successful. Right now with Stacia Pierce.
Hi, it's Stacia from Staciapiercetv. I'm so excited because I want to talk to you today about two things. One, I really want to talk to you about the power of confession and how it can help you as a leader, help you in your business, help you in your life, how it can change everything for you instantly. But before I get to that, I want to just address a question that was asked of me. And it led me to the power of confession because I wanted to give them an answer that they could use, something that they could, stick to, and it could work for the rest of their life. See, here's the question. The question was, what do I do if I've been rejected so much that I feel like rejection is causing me to just renege on my dreams and my goals? And so that question was posed to me from one of those people that watch me on TV or that, sign up for my success report, and they emailed me and they said, I feel like I'm backing off of everything that I want to do. I'm backing off my business. I'm backing off my dreams. I'm backing off my goals. And I know I don't want to be in this situation. Don't let rejection back you down. No does not mean no. Just because somebody told you no for the first time does not mean that you have to take their no and say, okay, I can't do this, or I can't enter this market, or my book is not good enough. And so I can't remember all these by heart, so I want to make sure I give you accurate information. So I'm going to read to you some people that you may have heard of that were rejected, but I'm going to tell you how to come out of that situation. Fred Astaire, first screen test, the director noted he can't act. He's slightly bald and he can dance just a little. Fred Astaire. Okay, then Louise May Alcott. I know you've heard of that little woman. Was encouraged to find work as a servant or a seamstress. They told her go do something else. So she was told no. Beethoven's violin teacher once told him he was a hopeless composer. And then Walt Disney was fired by a newspaper editor for lack of ideas. Can you believe that? So, no doesn't mean no, but that's not it. Hold on. Thomas Edison had a teacher that said he was too stupid to learn anything. Then Albert Einstein didn't speak until he was 4 years old and didn't read until he was 7. His teachers described him as mentally slow. Then we have Isaac Newton, who did poorly in grade school. Then we have Henry Ford, who failed and went bankrupt 5 times before he finally succeeded. Then we have Babe Ruth. When he retired from baseball, set the home run record, 714. He also held the record for the most strikeouts, 1,330. And then we have Winston Churchill, who failed the 6th grade. You know what? And so that lets you know that no doesn't mean no. Those are some of the greatest achievers that we know of in history. Those are people that we know by name. And so I want to tell you that no doesn't mean no, that there's something that you're supposed to be doing. There's a project you're supposed to be creating, or maybe a book you're supposed to be writing, or maybe it's an event you're supposed to be putting on, and someone has told you that you can't do it, that they're rejecting you or your ideas, and maybe that means you should revamp them. Maybe that means you should go and get better, but no does not mean no. So here's my answer. How do I come out of a situation if I'm feeling so rejected and I'm feeling so low that I just can't get my mojo back to get back in there and fight my way through and make some things happen? You know what? I think you should do something right away. Something that I do all the time is practicing the law of confession. You know, confession can change your life in an instant. Why? Because when you hear those words that you're saying, not only are they going into the atmosphere and they're creating, because words have the power to create. but also you're hearing those words back to yourself, and that's changing what you think about yourself and what you think you can do. And so I have 4 categories that I make confessions in. One, I make every single day, I say some kind of confession, but I have profit confessions. And what are those? Those are confessions that I declare of how much I'm going to profit per month, per year. Those are my goals for increase and prosperity. But I have profit confessions, and so I say those, and you know what, they come to pass. Sometimes I even supersede them. You know, I just had an event just a few weeks ago, and I declared at that event that I was going to profit so much dollars, so much in income. And so I wrote it down, and I said it every single day up until the day of the event, 1 hour into the event. And in 1 hour I had made every single thing I confessed. Everything I had written down, everything I had been saying every single day came in 1 hour. And so I know this works. I've done it over and over and over again. I'm standing right now as a result of a confession. I confessed the property that I'm on right into being, right into my life. So I know that it works. And so that's one area. I have profit confessions. I have confessions for my plans and my progress in life. And so I have confessions that say, you know, these are my plans, this is how I want to progress, and I confess it over my life, over my children, over our family, how they're going to have plans that come to pass and how they're going to progress in life. And so that's another area that I have confessions in. So when something doesn't go right and someone says no and it rejects something that I'm confessing, then I know that that is not the real answer for me. No does not mean no. It just means there's another way for me to get what I'm desiring. Then I have another area. It's called my personal life confessions. And these are the confessions that I say every single day about my personal life, those goals that I want to achieve, those things that I want to get done at certain pivotal times in my life. And so those are my personal life confessions, and I make sure that they're posted up everywhere. I put them on stickies. Some I create actual really nice posters for, and I put them on my mirror. Sometimes they're on my refrigerator. Whatever it is I'm believing for, I put that under the category of my personal life confessions. And then the last one is my project confessions, and this is where it's going to help you today. I have project confessions, meaning that there are projects that I want to launch, projects that I want to get done, whether it be a book I want to do, or whether it be a new product I want to get out there, or a new program I want to get to the marketplace, or whether it's a new maybe perfume that I'm working on. Yes, I am working on another perfume. I'm excited about that. But whatever it is, that's a project, and that goes under my project confessions. And I make sure that I say those project confessions, and so that I'm believing and I'm, you know, that they're going to happen, that they're going to come to pass every single day. Now let me tell you about the power of confession. So your words are magnetic. One, when you say them, they draw things to you like a magnet. Number two, there's so much power in your words because they have a creative force behind them. So words are not just words. When they go out into the atmosphere, they go out and they actually create. So they create whatever it is that you're saying. And you know, and for so long, I think that I used my confessions only in one area of my life, and I did not take them and put them into my whole entire business life or the things I wanted to succeed in life. And so when I started using the power of confession for my business and for my projects and for my personal life goals and for my profits, my goodness, I began to see those things come to pass in record-breaking time. You know, I made a confession not too long ago within this year that I wanted to get a Range Rover. I just wanted a new car. I wanted a brand new Range Rover. And so I confessed, you know, I'm going to get it in 90 days. And I confessed that I was going to have a project that I was working on that was going to get to the market, and I would make enough money from that particular project to pay for the car. Well, you know what? It didn't take 90 days. It took less than 30 days. And I went to the car dealership, bought that car, took it off the lot. But you know what? I didn't even keep it for myself. At that time, my daughter was turning 21 this year, and you know, it was her 21st birthday, and she needed another car. And so I decided on the way home I was going to give that car to my daughter as a gift. And so that's what I did. I gave her that brand new Range Rover, and it came as a result of the power of confession. Now, you know, confession has something that you have to do with it. You have to work. So you can't just confess, and then sit and sit and sit. So confession without action, you know what I mean, doesn't get you the results that you want. But if you make those confessions and then you take inspired action along with it, and you get up and you do something about it, you will see things happen in record-breaking time. So my answer to you, whether you're feeling rejected or not today, is, make sure that you have confessions for all the important areas of your life, and that you post them up somewhere so they're visible, and that you say them religiously every single day. Now, what I've done for you, until you can create your own, I've given you my dream life confession, and that's just a confession that's going to cover your entire dream life. Just goals and inspired ideas and creative projects. It just covers all the generic things that you could be possibly wanting in your life. And so I want you to say that until you come up with your own confession. I want you to say the one that I've created, and you can download it right now, and I want you to read it and see what happens. Though you didn't create it for yourself, it still has power in those words. Remember, your words are a creative force. They go forth and they go out and they create for you. And so I want you to make sure that you're watching every word you say, because this can go in the other, this can go the other way too. If we're negative all the time and saying, I can't do it and it won't work and I don't have enough. If you're saying that over yourself and over your projects and over your business and over your profits, then you know what? You're going to have what you say. And so I believe that you're going to start lining your mouth up with what it is you really desire. And I desire for you to have the best. I desire for you to succeed. So go ahead, download that confession and stay inspired to succeed. Please make a post about this. I want to hear your feedback. I want to know if you're inspired to make a confession or to say a confession or just to change your confession. And I want to know if it works for you. So go ahead, tell me something right now today. And then also, as you begin to work this process, I want to hear back from you in a few weeks. And I want to hear those positive reports of how the power of confession has changed your life and even turned some no's into yeses. All right, good talking to you. Stay tuned and watch another episode of Stacia Pierce TV.